we go. Plan on doing some bluegill and pumpkinseed sunfish fishing today. Gonna have to repattern them from the last couple big bluegill videos because there was a flood and it seems like most of them moved out of the spawn zones that they were in last time. This guy took a few minutes to pick up. It's not looking too hot. I'm gonna have to try and find a school of them. This is a real nice one though. Above average. Super tall in the back, pushing 10 inches. Real beauty. And that's a real solid bluegill. That was pretty easy. There's still some spawners on the edge. Looks like, I don't know, 7.5, 8 inches. It looks like a couple of them swimming around there. I got my polarized sunglasses on. Fishing with a 3-way slip sinker rig on this rod farther out. Hit the spawners in the middle and the staging ones, and then just hitting these edge fish with a free line. Half nightcrawlers on each rod. There we go. There's the other one. Measured that first fish at 9.5 and that second fish at 7.5. First one was a decent one for sure. A little above average, but just great shape to it. Real heavy for its length, because it was so tall in the back and thick. This one's another 7.5, 7.75, something like that. Man, I love fishing for bluegill. I used to do it all the time back before I made videos, like 5 years ago. One of my favorite things to do. I used to catch bluegill like that first one by the hundreds. Just spend, you know, most of my summer fishing for them. A real fat one with eggs, about 8 inches. I'm going to fish this side for a little bit, and then I'm going to start moving around, look for a hotter bite and bigger fish. Just going to hit these edge fish for a little bit. It looks like they're mostly like 7.5 and 8 inches. Last one was just a touch over 8. This one's another 7.75 maybe. If you're wondering what this pink thing on this line is, it's a slip knot. So I can change this pole back and forth between a free line and a slip float rig once I'm done fishing for these edge fish here. That knot right there. It's a decent one. Probably 8.25, 8.5. Man, I love bluegill fishing. I miss it so much. I used to do so much of this. I think I got a small largemouth. He's jumping. Right when he felt the resistance, he started jumping. And I really love using 3-way slip sinker bottom rigs for sun fishing. At least as much as I like using a slip float. Just allows me the distance to cast over a whole area. Hit the staging fish deeper. Hit the spawning fish shallower, because they'll work their way in waves to spawn, and spawn at different times. This is definitely a largemouth. So there'll always be some staging, some deeper, even if there's a pot of them shallower. Yep. Small largemouth. 13, 14 incher. Right on the edge there. This is pretty slow on this side today. I'm gonna have to start moving around soon. Try and find greener pastures. See where they're really staging. There we go, another one right off that bed there. Smaller guy. Just a little smaller. A lot of 7.5s and 8s right on the edge. Usually get a little better class of fish out in the middle. Still in the shallow zones, but, you know, more towards the center. I hit this little spot right in front of me here. This little area. There's a couple beds in there. And then I think I'm going to pack up. Start moving. Yeah, all wound around there. There we go. Just a little guy, 7-incher at best. When I work this free line, I just gradually drag just a sliver of nightcrawler, just enough to cover the hook. Try and keep it fresh, especially for pickier fish, but just a sliver of nightcrawler. I drag it over the bed real slow. A nice female. Super fat, pretty short, but real chubby. Alright, last one on this side. Not exactly looking like it's going to be a hundreds of sunfish day, but still might be a good day. Have to see what we find when we start moving around. Another 7.5 or so. About a quarter mile later, I'm at the new spot. Still working the shallows for now. I might hit some staging fish later. Got a smaller guy in a slip float rig here. Another gill. Just working it like, you know, half a piece of nightcrawler, maybe 15 inches under the float, or 18 inches, something like that. That is hot out. Another 7 3/4 maybe. There's a decent spawner out in the middle. They'll like cluster on the weed beds. If you have polarized sunglasses, you can see them. That's what I found when I did this a lot years ago. I used to get crazy numbers of 9+ inchers. You know, like 150 a day would be normal, just your typical day. And I found they tend to like cluster when they spawn around just a little bit of structure there. A decent pumpkin seed. Yeah, I think it might be a straight pumpkin seed. Some of them are hybrids, you know, not necessarily 50-50 hybrids. You get a lot of bluegill pumpkin seed hybrids too. There we go. He was caught up in some junk there. And these beavers, they just drop sticks in the water sometimes. Like they'll leave them out there in the middle. There's a nice looking pumpkin seed hybrid. I don't know. It has the bluegill stripes. They're really faint though. That last one might have just barely been a hybrid too. It had the stripes, but they're super faint. You can see them right here, even though it looks like a normal pumpkin seed otherwise. They'll push in different groups for the spawn. You get one group that pushes in shallow, they'll spawn, move back out, another group will push in. They'll be on like different timers. And you know, because of that, some days I come down, I'll find more bluegill in the shallows. Other days I come down, I'll find more pumpkin seeds. Just depends on the day and the circumstances. Another smaller gill, 7 3/4 maybe. It's just a few little weed bed pockets, real shallow over there that I'm working right now. There's definitely some stacked on it. Yeah, this is a pumpkin seed. Yeah, just a straight pumpkin seed, I think. Another fish off the slip float rig. You know, maybe pumpkin seeds do have really, really faint bars on the side. A lot more faint than bluegill. I forget, to be totally honest with you. There's a little bluegill. Oh, 7.5. They pretty much always get snagged up in the structure, in the junk. That's why I hate the beavers being here. They leave way too much of it around. And these gills go straight for it once they know they're hooked. Another, I don't know, 6, 7 maybe. Lost a couple fish out there a ways. Fell off the hook halfway in. I don't know if they're just small ones or what. I'm using size 4 hooks to try and weed out the small ones. Usually 8+ inchers have no problem getting that in their mouth. Yeah, this is just a little guy. I have a feeling a lot of them out there are like this. I might have to move around to find some better quality. You know, 7 incher. It's a small gill. edge pumpkin seeds here. Man, he's a feisty one. There we go. Just had this guy on a moment ago. Is that a bass or something? It looked like a big flash. Yeah, probably a spawning largemouth. That's funny. Didn't really expect that at all. I can't quite see out that far. I just see there's a bed there. I thought it was a sunfish bed. That's a little better pumpkin seed. Do get a few nice ones on the edges, but you know, mostly small average ones. This one's about average, but tall in the back, you know, average length, but tall in the back. Just lost a nice one out deep to a log. Kind of a bummer on a slow day like this. Tons of edgefish though. Just not a lot of one spawning in the center, and not a lot of one staging in the center where I can reach. It's hard to pattern the staging ones today. Strange, I'm seeing so many edge spawners without seeing them spawn in the swamp at the same time. Don't really understand it. They're both the same depth. Some little pumpkin seed while I was reeling it in. Right next to me. Real small guy, 6-7 incher. A lot of edgefish. Second it touches the water. Picking one up each time. Not big ones, but they're okay sized ones. They're 8 inchers, you know. Used to getting a lot more 9s, but they're still okay. These 8s. See, right when it touches the water. Tons of edgefish. You can see all these spots in the algae. A lot of those are beds. Those open spots. Yeah, that one might barely make 7, maybe. It's a little gill. This little cove here has got a decent little pot of them, man. There's a few stacked up in here. Another okay sized one, I guess. Yeah, 7 3/4 or 8. Pumpkin seed right there. Yep, got him. Love it when it works out like that. It's a pretty one. It's got perfect colors. Little black spot, but still great colors otherwise. I love edge fishing. There's a decent one. That looked a little better. Looked like he had some shoulder on him. Yeah, that's a nice one for the edge. Usually you get, you know, quality fish like this out in the middle pretty consistently. This or bigger. You know, solid 9 inchers. Man, I've had days, I swear, where I've gotten 100 plus of these. You know, 9 1/4 average. Easy. You know, that used to be a standard, like, decent day down here 5 years ago, I remember. Used to hit it so hard. Still just twitching a piece of nightcrawler, just enough to cover up a number 4 Aberdeen. You know, on a free line. Real simple. No weight. Twitching it through the water column. Kind of twitching it and dragging it over their beds. There's quite a few stacked up right in this little cove. You know, today's definitely going to be a slow day, or on the slow side. No serious numbers today, but I'm pretty sure, I didn't count them yet, but last bluegill video, which I think is a couple bait videos ago, maybe a few bait videos ago, I got around 150, and a lot of 9 plus inchers that day. Not as many as I used to get, but still, like a quarter or a third of them were, you know, 9 plus maybe. so that was a much better day. That was a good numbers day. Thunderstorms are coming. Not sure if I'm going to stick it out or not. Man, that is a super fat short one. That one has crazy eggs. You know, 7.5, 7, but look at the belly. Walking the shore, pre-lining, bit some worms still. Another pumpkin seed, small one. See a lot of circles right here. There's probably a little pot of them. This is a bass though, shoot. Not what I'm looking for. Spooking all of them. Oh, you made a mess of things, buddy. Scared every sunfish I was about to try to catch. Got another, I don't know, 13.5, 14. Right in front of me here, another pumpkin seed. Oh, man. Ouch. Ouch. These pockets of them are just too easy. It's a decent one. It's got some shoulder on him. Might be, I don't know, that might be a hybrid. Not sure. Looks real dark for a pumpkin seed. It's got the orange breast of a bluegill too. You know, I do a lot of challenging fishing. And, you know, all sorts of different types of challenging fishing, but sometimes you just gotta do something easy. At least that's how I feel. You know, I really enjoy this. It's relaxing. Still usually get action on a slow day too. That's the other good part about this. Slow day's like 50 fish. There's a nice gill. That one's got some shoulder on him for sure. 8.5, 9, and oh yeah, he's at least 9. Probably 9, 9.25. Not too tall in the back, but nice fish. There's a few nice ones on the edge. This ain't too bad. Pretty much every cast. Let's stay out of that line, shoot. There we go. That's a decent gill. Couple decent gills right on that drop off there. That last one's definitely over 9. This one's probably 8.5. Real tiny guy. Yeah, 7-inch gill. Still getting a fish every cast, and a fish every 10-15 seconds pretty much. It's pretty easy with the edge ones. Now, I'm gonna run out eventually though. Have to try and find some staging ones out deeper. There's another decent gill, maybe 8.5 or so. 8 3/4. This is why I like to keep working different spots. There's always a hot sunfish bite somewhere. Just gotta find where they're staging. You know, it'll be different based on the year. You know, different conditions each year, and it'll be different based on the time in the season. I saw him move just a tiny bit. There's one that's been sitting on my 3-way slip sinker rig this whole time. Really not pulling on it. He just tugged it like an inch finally. Once in a while, a lot of times other fish will do that, like suckers and sometimes walleyes, but that's why it's a tiny bass. I could probably barely pull on it. Tiny largemouth. I'm glad the rain stopped for now. I think there's still some storms on the way though. It's like a 50% chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. I love doing this with polarized sunglasses. I never used to do it that way. It was a big mistake. lot of times in clear water they'll just chase it down. You won't really have to twitch it over their beds at all. They'll kind of swarm on it right away. They get so aggressive this time of year. You know, I get good numbers in fall, early fall, when they push shallow, right before they push deep again. But this time of year is hard to beat. I must have fished like 15 casts straight now, at least. You could probably see them. I can see them really well, but you probably still see them. All these little circles here, these are all sunfish beds. Each one of those beds usually has, you know, a pair on it. Some of them are abandoned, but not all of them. A lot of them have fish on them right now. There's some down in the swamp, but not a lot. Not thick like I'd like to see them, you know. This guy in fast. Another small largemouth. Kind of wonder if I caught this one already. So I just pulled him off that bed right there. I swear I got this guy like first thing. Maybe not. I don't know. I remember catching pumpkinseed like that off that bed though. He's decent. You know, 8 inches tall in the back. I don't remember getting one like that. Weird. I think I caught that one already. He's really dumb. Another one right there. Spat it. Not that time. Too easy. Friggin' foot deep edge pumpkin seeds. Just wading out just a little bit. So one limitation of a free line, because it has no weight, is it's hard to cast out. Get good distance on it, you know, you get like 20 feet. So if I wade out a little more, I can just reach the bed just a little further out, get on some new fish quick. There's a lot of like 7.5, 8 inchers all around me. I don't know if you can see them chasing each other right here. Right in front of me, they don't care I'm here. That's like a 7.5. Yep, right in front of me. This guy was pretty shy, he kept spitting it. Finally tricked him. Dinky guy. Seems like it'd be a lot of fun with a fly rod. Yeah, baby pumpkin seed. You know, I didn't put that slip knot on there to be useful. Like I said before, it was just so I could switch rigs easy, but with these polarized sunglasses, it's actually really helping me tell where the worm is in the water. Yeah, another 7.5, 8 inch gill. Pretty much all aggressive. Just all about fan casting and finding pockets of new fish. Another gill. Similar to the last one. That one has like black chest. Weird. There's a little guy. Little gill. 6 incher. Just gonna keep moving around. Looking for new fish. Hopefully bigger than this one. Another 6.5 inch gill. Shoot. Yeah, maybe 6 actually. It's pretty small. Another gill. Oop. Got him. 7.5 maybe. Nope, I don't want the bass. Shoot. Oh man. I was hoping he'd stay away from it. He was kind of shy. This is such childish fishing. I don't even care. I enjoy doing it, and that's all that matters to me. It works. You know, these edge fish are always a lower quality fish though. Always smaller on average pretty much. The ones that stage deeper and on the transitions. There's one. Just had the one on this nest and he popped off after he jumped. A lot of real pretty pumpkin seeds. Just had another one pop off. You know, all these 7-inchers have a tough time fitting that Aberdeen in their mouth. Get skin hooked. It's on the edge of the lip. And then throw it when they jump. Whenever you hit a new pocket, it's pretty much guaranteed to fish a cast. There's just so many stacked up. Dozens of beds, and each bed has more than one sunfish usually. It's crazy. And there's sunfish just fighting each other in between the beds, or they're just all over the place. Yep. Another gill. Right out of that bed right next to me there. Another pumpkin seed. And they get smart fast. A few of these guys are real shy now. You know, you hook them and they fall off halfway in. Usually don't get a second chance at them. Someone's following it up. Saw a little wake there. Yep, there he is. Another gill. Another small guy. Sometimes it's nice to just do some easy, relaxing fishing where I don't have to think as much. I don't have to pattern the fish as hard. You know, whichever choice I make, I'm still going to get on some fish. Probably the reason I love sun fishing. I think that's most of them off this shore here. Haven't tried on the other side of that cove yet though. There's probably more beds over there. Definitely starting to thin them out though. Make them all shy. Catch release and all these little guys. Gotta catch them all. Just working my way along this shoreline here. There's a decent gill. It's probably 8.5. There he is. Saw him eat it. Gosh, I love using the glasses. Helps so much. A decent thick pumpkin seed. It's a little better. Got a little shoulder on him. One on right there. I think he ate the pink thing. Yeah, he had the slip knot in his mouth. It's the first time one hit that. That's funny. Another thick little pumpkin seed. One thing I love about pumpkin seeds is, you know, when they get longer, like 9 inches plus, they're a lot thicker than a 9-inch bluegill usually, and they're a lot taller on the back. They just like fill out better, it seems, when they get longer. Hitting this little pocket again, see if I missed any. Probably some that became less shy while I was over to the side there. That's a real dark gill. Oh, these guys have black chests. Not used to seeing that. Another cast, another fish. That's probably a pair right there. This is another decent gill. Oh yeah, not bad. 8.5 maybe. 8 1/4. Decent one. Man, it's like there's all new fish here. Never shy at all. Same as before when I first hit this spot. Just a bunch of aggressive fish every 20 seconds, you know. Most of the time it's just taking them off the hook and throwing them back in. There we go. New edge, new fish hopefully. Should pick up a good number of new ones over here. See a lot of small guys right there. Might have to keep walking for bigger ones. Some of these pods have decent bluegills in them, you know, 9 inches on the edge, but not every spot on the edge has them. Oh, he wants it. He got it. Edge pumpkin seeds. These guys are really pushing to the edge, it seems like more than the bluegills. These guys spawn extra shallow. Try that one right there. Yeah, he's not so shy. He's a dumb one. Good size one too. Awesome. About average. Getting way too many small ones today. Sounds like an 8. There we go. A bunch of tiny bluegills swarming it around these okay sized pumpkin seeds. Trying to avoid those little bluegills. Another pumpkin seed. Got him. A lot of decent pumpkin seeds on these edges here. I don't know why they like this edge so much. It's a little deeper if anything. Usually they like the shallower stuff. Expect to see more of them in the swamp, to be honest. Some of these guys are smart, man. They're spitting it. When I go back a couple minutes later, they eat it. They're giving me a second shot. It's a little smaller. Oh, just a bunch of tiny gills right there. 5 inchers. That looks like a gill. Right on the edge there. Got him. No, it's just pumpkin seed. Huh. Look more like a gill underwater. There we go. Hard to get a grip on them. Look at those dark gills right there. Those are definitely gills. Super black. A decent size too. Cool. That's what I'm looking for. Some okay sized gills. Some 8.5s. And I love that black color on them though. I get so many different colored gills. This one looks so cool. The black stripes and the black chest. There's so many gills right in front of me fighting over those beds. It's crazy. There's another one. They're nice ones too. Look at that chunk, holy cow. That one is a fat mama. Huge mouth on it. Could fit 2 fingers in that mouth. Nice 9.25 incher. That's a beauty. That's the kind I used to get dozens of. You know, maybe even 100 plus a day. Of just this size, plus the smaller ones. I can see like 10 of them right in front of me. They're all fighting and chasing each other around. They're all gills. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's a little deeper. Changed from 100% pumpkin seeds to 100% gills in this little pocket. They all look like good ones too. Most of them do. This one's a little smaller. Definitely saw some more 9 inchers in there. Shoot. Yeah, one's like another 7.5 or 8. Might be an 8 maybe, barely. Maybe a little under. They're getting shy pretty fast, but there's a nice stack of them here. And they're all gills too. I can see all of them. They're all gills right in this little pocket. Yeah, another little bit smaller guy, 8 incher. Oh, let's spook all those ones. Shoot. Didn't mean to do that. Meant to take them left. Wow, there's a heavy cluster of gills right here. Every bed is like touching another bed for a long ways out. Even right there's a bunch of nice ones. Nice solid gills. Right there by that log. There's like 5 of them like this, just right in that little foot by foot zone. You know, right there. They're all over the place. It's a solid 8, 8.5, 8 3/4, probably 8.5. And a lot of these gills are getting real shy. Like 1 in 5 of them is hitting. This is more like it. At least these guys are decent ones, 8.5s, you know. Get sick of all the 6 inchers and 7 inchers. Yeah, this guy's on the small side, but real dark and pretty. Man, he is black all the way down his belly there. Such a cool color for a gill. Even on the fins. Look at the bottom fins here. Pure black all the way through. Here's a decent one. You know, this day's turning out better than I expected. Getting in some nice numbers. A few decent looking ones. You know, these lippable ones are nice. They're good size. That one's so round. You know, probably only a little over 9 inches or 9 inches, but heavy for its length. Looks like a hybrid. You can see the pumpkin seed marks and the bluegill chest. This is what I was trying to say earlier, kind of. If you stick it out and just keep working it, there's a good chance you'll find a group of better quality fish. These bluegills are nicer than all those pumpkin seeds and bluegills I was getting before. Not big ones, but quality ones. A lot of 8.5s and 9s stacked up. You know, and the smallest one stacked up here are like 8s. Left this spot alone for like a couple minutes and then came back. And they're hot again. The ones that saw their friends go get pulled on shore are less shy now. A lot of these shy ones keep going for the pink slipknot instead of the nightcrawler. It's kind of interesting. Should probably try jigging for them at some point. Micro jigs. And this day started out so slow, but it's gotten pretty fun. I figured out this edge pattern, especially with these nicer gills. Some Something tiny down in this deep spot. Just a little gill again. Back into the small ones. Oh man, they're all over the place. This is another nest of gills right here. They're not along the whole shore. There's just clusters of them. Like it's like 10 by 20, maybe 10 by 15 foot clusters of gills. This one's so dark and beautiful. It's a real nice one too. Yeah, it's like a solid 9.5. That's a beauty. I was really hoping to find another little pot of gills like this. Let's try and get them in as fast as possible so I don't spook the rest of them. There's got to be another like good 20 of them down there. They're all 8 to 10 inches. You never know what you're going to find. Just got to keep working it. Nice little schools of gills. Quality gills. Trying to eat it. There we go, got one. Got one on the leech. Wanted to try fresh leeches all day once I found a school of better fish like this. Another 8-incher. Free line and a nice little leech. Oh yeah, they're sucking it in right away. They love them just as much as the worms. I want to hit that spot where I already made them all shy with the leeches. See if they'll hit that instead of the worms. Because they stopped hitting worms over there. I don't know what it is, but I love fishing with leeches. Oh man, they're just crushing them. These leeches are so wiggly. They just can't help themselves. The nightcrawlers aren't moving because I'm just using like a 1/6 of a piece of nightcrawler. The leeches wiggle all over the place. I swear I'm seeing a crappie swirl on the leech. Like right around that stump there. It's tough to tell, even with the polarized sunglasses, but I swear I saw it twice. They're smaller gill. These little leeches are definitely a little bit better. You can fit them in their mouth easier. See, just like that. I was having a bunch of them bite it and pull it out of their mouths, so you could only get the tail of that big leech in. I'd say these leeches are about as good as the worms though. They're great for these bluegill. Hitting it right away. They love it. Get it just a little closer to him. He keeps staring at it. He wants to stay in his bed though. There you go. There you go. There you go. To get it right in his face. These leeches are a little better than the worms though for these shy fish as they're wiggling. There you go, that's a decent gill. 8 1/4, 8 1/2. Gonna try a piece of worm again for a couple minutes. I love bait switching like this. Going back and forth, it just helps pick up a few more shy fish each time. So I always try to bring at least a couple different types of baits when I bait fish. That was an okay size one. He hit it for just a second there. That's a decent, okay size gill, I guess. It's at least 8. Got a lip here. It's about 8 1/4. And worm's on fire again. Funny how that works. Just like, I don't know, make them shy to something else and then they'll turn back on the original bait, it seems. Cast it in, catch a gill. That easy. Every single time. That's another okay sized one. 8 1/4. 8 1/2 maybe. This is better numbers than I expected for just edge fishing. I'm glad I found these couple pods of decent gills. a lot better than all those tiny pumpkin seeds. It's all caught up in the junk. Shoot. Oh, junk's coming in then. Whoa, whoa, buddy. There we go. Another fat mama gill. Just keep picking up new fish. Just leave them alone for like a minute or two. They'll start to return to normal. And those ones you didn't catch that got shy from seeing the ones getting pulled out, they'll turn back on. Hopefully I'm explaining all this stuff coherently. Only sleep I got last night was a nap in my truck. And then I shot straight here. Another fat one, full of eggs. Getting slightly smaller ones all of a sudden. I think the big ones are still going to be shy for a while. Or bigger ones, the 9s that I see. Right on the edge here, right out of that nest. I was trying to get the one in front of it, that bigger one, but he's really shy. Some of the fish are spitting it, but I'm still getting a hit every cast for a very, very long time now. You know? Not quite a fish every cast, so I'm losing a few, but still, like, this is just silly. This day was slow to start, and now it's picking up pretty well. Oh, got the tiny one. I just almost had that bigger one right there that I've been trying to get. Pulled it right out of his mouth. There we go. There's one. That's a decent one. That's more like it. There's a bluegill. Solid 8.5. A lot of the best sized ones are right on the edge here. Look at that one. That's a nice one. Right on the edge. Oh yeah, it's a solid 9, maybe even more, maybe 9 1/4. It's funny, if one hits it, the other one wants to hit it, even if it's a shy one. It starts to trust the bait more, I guess. This is just ridiculous. It's every single cast. Like, I'm gonna run out of camera memory soon. The numbers here are just silly, right in this little 10 by 10 square. Got a little guy. Or on the smaller side for these gills at least. Maybe barely 8, 7 3/4 or 8. Forgot there's another little pot of them over there. Cast it into them, got a hit right away. That one's real tall in the back. Getting a lot of them going after the pink thing once they get shy. I'd rather hit that. There's a strong one. That's a nice gill. Good solid 9, 8 3/4 maybe. Right around there. There we go. This one was out there a ways. Good 15, 20 feet out. Nice gill. Oh, heck yeah. There's some solid ones stacked up here. It's a good solid 9 1/4 or so. I think I caught over 100 fish at this point today. Another nice solid gill. Orange breast. Maybe 8 1/2. Maybe. I'm going to start working my way back soon. Cover those fish that I already covered along the shoreline. Again, see if I can get some of the shy ones. And then maybe I'll come back here after that. After these guys rest a little bit. Oh, that's a real fat spawner. Wow. Fat mama. Look at the eggs. Crazy. You know, 8 1/4 or so. 8 1/2, but so thick. Dying to try the leeches on this little school I hit earlier. Yep, thought it would be that fast. They got real shy earlier. I couldn't get another one, but figure if I gave them a little time and different type of bait, definitely get some new ones. Look at that quality gill. That's a solid 9 1/2 probably. Right around there. Same leech, tossing it back out there. Yeah, he's still wiggling. Bam. Another gill. Too easy. On a used up leech. And my lip here. That one's missing one of his eyes. It's half blind. Another average size one on a bigger leech. Mostly just getting one use out of these leeches. They're falling off once I hit them. There you go. That one was right near shore. A gill on the leech. I think I just got a bass on a leech. Little guy. Yep, little largemouth. Finally got one on a piece of worm. These guys are getting real shy again. You can get diminishing returns as I go back. Less and less out of each school. There we go. Haven't seen one of these guys in a while. Nice looking pumpkin seed. Real beauty. Man, such good colors. Super tiny baby gill. And thankfully not a lot today that size. Been avoiding them for the most part. Hitting this spot again now. Another quality pumpkin seed. Oh yeah. And that one's so orange and beautiful. Maybe 8 1/4, 8 1/2, but great colors. Whenever you let the spots be for a while, I mean, I've been over there for like an hour catching all those gills, but maybe an hour. But whenever you give these spots a rest, a lot of these ones that were shy become active again, and they'll hit right away. Once you give a spot rest and come back to it, you get instant hits all over again. Super hot. Solid gill. Hopefully I'm getting all these better fish later in the day. I had to go through all those small ones at the start of the day. There's a little guy. 5 hits in a row, lost one of them. I love the instant hits. They're the best. This guy's tugging. It's a solid gill. Oh yeah. Weird, I don't remember seeing these here the first time I was hitting this spot. It's a good 8.5, maybe a hair more. Super, super hot. Starting to slow down. I'm just going to keep walking. Don't expect them to be as good as the first time I hit them. Little fat mama gill. Hit this stretch again quick, and then I'm going to take a break, walk back to the car. A little gill. There we go. There's a decent gill. Oh, actually that's a pumpkinseed. Or a hybrid. Oh man. Super tall in the back. I think that's a hybrid. Nice one. Another little guy. Well, seen smaller ones today, I guess, but on the small side. That's a true pumpkinseed, for sure. Holy cow, that's a tiny one. Wow. 4 or 5 incher. It's like I never even hit this stretch. They're all dumb as any other ones. Amazing. I'm gonna go take a break quick soon. Another 6, 7 incher, 7 probably. Man, had to pack these guys out for a 1/4 mile with all my gear, so I'm sweating. Just a quick bluegill pumpkinseed limit, 50. Probably caught and released 100 on top of these 50 I kept already. I'm catching some solid numbers today. I'm about to go back down after this quick break. I want to get these guys on ice, but I'm about to go back down and catch and release fish for them for the rest of the evening. Hit some of that shoreline over again now that they've had some time to rest. They'll probably bite again. Some of those shy ones. But, you know, most of these guys are 8, 8.5 inches, just average ones. A few of them are 9 inches and maybe a couple 9.5s. Obviously, if I got anything big, any 10 inches plus, I would have immediately released them, because those are very rare around here. But these are a dime a dozen. Still a solid limit. Good fillets on all of them. Mostly 8, 8.5s. I gotta get them on ice quick. Flies are just starting to see them. I'm gonna take them home, fillet them, and give the fillets away to a friend of mine that works 7 days a week and barely makes enough to eat. So he'll definitely appreciate them. I'm gonna try and hit these spots over again. A lot of shy fish in them though. It's taking a minute to get this first one. I'm going to try and CNR some more numbers. See what we can do before sunset. Little one off the bed right in front of me. Tiny female. There we go. Pumpkinseed. Awesome. One from down there about 20 feet, right on shore bedding. Tiny little pumpkinseed. I'm going to start moving. These are all tiny guys, the ones that aren't shy. Seems like I hit or I'm coming close to 150. I'm not sure yet, but You know, I won't be till I count up the video clips, but we're racking up a number. I want to rise above 150. That's my goal for today. It's funny because it was such a slow morning to start out with. I never would have expected so many edge fish during the day. All these front fish here are super educated. A lot of shy ones without me even pulling any out yet, really. Tried out a leech at 1.7 1/2. Oh man, I've had a terrible headache for hours now from squinting. Trying to spot these fish in the water. Another little bass. Oh man, I want to give up so bad. My body's failing me. So hot, vicious headache, exhausted. Pretty picked over, man. It's like someone was already here a couple hours ago just catching and releasing all of them. Just don't understand it. Another one next cast, I'll take it. Another bluegill. Alright. Not too bad for how hard I hit the spot earlier. Another cast, another gill. Instantly. Just jumped right on it. Man. Tiny guy picked it up. Little bluegill. Funny, these ones on the beds right in front of me are hitting again. This guy's pulling. I think it's because he's in a stick. And I'll tell you, this is my last sunfish day for a while. My head is pounding. I'm just killing my body over this. Catching too many, too much hiking, too hot a sun, too much squinting. Gotta see this through though, man. Must catch the numbers. Just for the heck of it. Yeah, there's a solid gill. Not bad. Lippable. Another 8 3/4 probably. Decent one. At least 8 1/2. You must present the worm to the fish, and the fish must accept. You must present the worm to the fish, and the fish must accept. And you must present the worm to the fish, and the fish may or may not accept. And you must accept the fish to the worm, and the fish may present. Man, I'm tired. It's a nice gill. It's a 9. Solid. And when I get home, I'm gonna pack those fish in lots of ice, and then I'm gonna crash. Just kidding. Probably gonna answer YouTube comments for a while. Oh man. find it disgusting how much my hands smell like grass right now. Like right after you mow it. It makes no sense, and it's making me want to gag. It smells awful. I feel my eyes leaking from my face pain and my headache from squinting all day. Whoa, Nelly, no depth perception. Hands don't work either at this point, I guess. Shoot. Oh man, I'm beat. That was so funny. This guy slammed it, and then it popped out of his mouth, and then he went after it again and slammed it again. What a dummy. Oh, there he goes. You know, this spot ain't too bad considering I hit it twice already. Or 3 times. This is either the 3rd or the 4th time I've hit it. I'm still picking up new fish. Once one starts going after it, it's like the other shy ones get jealous of it and then they hit it. Seems to be what's happened a few times now, when they wouldn't hit it otherwise. Aside from all the things people normally rant about, I like to think fishing's about timing and angles and circumstance. There's your tip of the day. Oh, this is a bruiser right here, holy cow. There's a bluegill. Wow. That's 9.5 at least. At least. I don't think he's quite a 10 though, but he's a big one. Relatively big, you know, above average. Tiny gill. Right on the edge. Super aggressive. Just racking up a number. Just for fun. I love how at the beginning of this video I said this is definitely not going to be a hundreds of fish day. Unreal. These schools just are never ending in these little 10 by 20 foot stretches. Got one of the shy ones right next to me. Been trying to get them, but they're really shy. I just don't understand how I keep getting new fish. It's like the first time I hit this pool, but it's really the 3rd or 4th. You know, I'm disgusted with myself for sticking it out, and also be disgusted with myself if I left. So catch 22. Another shy close one. I can barely stand up at this point. My legs hurt so much. I'm getting so exhausted. Oh, that's a nice one. 8 3/4 probably. Give these shy ones just enough time. They're turning back on. I wonder if it has something to do with the sun setting. That usually turns the bluegills on pretty well. They're hitting better all of a sudden. You know, I'm just picking up all these shy ones that were spooked before. That one's pretty tall in the back, 8 3/4. Just keep scan casting. Hit each little pocket within the overall pocket over and over again. It's timing and circumstance. And those things change even though the location of the fish stays the same. Still just twitching and drifting a piece of nightcrawler through the water. So simple. Nice looking one. I don't know if that's a hybrid or pure pumpkin seed. Might be a hybrid. Maybe. Every single cast again. It's like I never hit this spot at all. These fish have never seen a hook before. Except I have hit this spot already 3 times today. I just don't understand. Must be the timing. Must be they're turning on because of sunset. Okay, I changed my mind. First thing I'm going to do when I get home is take Tylenol. Then YouTube comments. Then I'm going to crash. No depth perception. There we go. Another solid gill. Dime a dozen gills, man. 8.5, 9, 9.5 inches. I'm probably 8.5. Man, I can only imagine the disgusting numbers I would get if I had miles of fresh shoreline to walk, like shallow shoreline. A lot of this lake, it drops right off, so there isn't a good bedding edge. So I only got a few hundred feet. 3 casts in a row. It's like I haven't even been here once. You know, I've been here 4 times already. And this has been fun and all, but I'll tell you what, I definitely got it out of my system. Done with sunfish for a little while. And they're still just doing instant hits right when it touches the water. Been trying to conserve battery and memory, but gotta get one of these instant hits. Yep, there he is. See? It's been like that the last 5 fish, you know? Just instantaneous hits. Another pumpkin seed. That's a beauty right there. Nice one. 8 3/4 probably. Real nice pumpkin seed. 6 instant hits in a row. This is just unreal. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Way too good. There's so many right in front of me. 7 instant hits in a row. Just ridiculous. Where did all these things come from? Where did all the shy ones go? Did the shy ones become not shy ones because of the sunset? I don't know. This is crazy though. So many. Unreal. I set the hook on him, fell out of his mouth, and he still picked it back up after an instant hit. Man, it's like they want to be caught. Just ridiculous. Can't believe how many are right there. I'm just fishing this little 3x3 pocket right in front of this junk in the water here. Last 8 fish have come out of that. This is a bruiser. This is a nice one. Actually, maybe it's not that nice, but it's still a nice, decent gill. You know, maybe 9, maybe. Gotta be approaching 200 here. Now, I won't know till I count them up. I'm just gonna do my best to catch what I can while I can, but hoping I don't miss it by just a little bit. It's another, I don't know, 8 1/4, 8.5. I swear, every time I have a good numbers day, I end up feeling like throwing up at the end from exhaustion and pain. Famished too. That little bag of nuts I had in the break didn't go very far. I love the ones with the black chest. They're so cool looking. That spot right there is magical. I swear. I've gotten like at least 10 fish out of there in the last 10-15 minutes. Actually less than that, probably last like 5-10 minutes. I can't tell time right now. My brain isn't working right. And this guy attacked it, and I pulled it out of his mouth, and he attacked it again. It keeps happening. More and more as it gets closer to sunset. They're getting rowdier. I know they are. Might be starting to thin them out of this spot again. Here's a little guy. Once you get down to the little guys, you're starting to thin them out usually. It becomes more consistent, small ones. Not sure if I was right about that, but I'm pretty okay with being wrong, because it means more fish. Another instant hit right out of that little pocket, right where it starts to get slightly deeper. That's a nice one. Camera's about to run out. It's a thick one. I just don't understand how there are so many. Another decent one. Still instant hits. Just absolutely out of control. All out of that little pocket right in front of me. I'm having a hard time believing there's so many right in front of me right there. Just don't understand. Tiny bluegill. This guy's really fighting. Real dark gill. Another dark gill, a little bigger. Nice. Love that chest on him. This is absolutely disgusting. Where are all these friggin' bluegills coming from? They're all right there. Just more just keep piling in. That's like 30 out of that little pocket. The 4th time I visited it. I just don't understand. It's still instant hits. And I just wish the camera wasn't low on battery and memory. Hoping it'll run out. One from my left here. Another smaller guy, 7.5. Tiny guy. They're just swarming all over it. Getting smaller ones all of a sudden. It's like a 6.5. Another small gill. 6-incher at best. That last spot finally petered out after like 30 or 40 fish out of it. And that's like the 4th time I hit it in a row. Just crazy hot for how fished it was. Another bass. Making a mess of things. Yeah, that one's solid 14. I'm gonna hit this pocket and then probably head out. This camera's gonna run out super soon. Beautiful pumpkin seed. You know, today started out slow. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna get a video. And as I kept working it, trying to pattern the fish, I found some hot action. Some good numbers. I just don't even have words at this point. It's a ridiculous hot sunfish, sunset bite for sunfish. Man. Another bass. Wow. 12-incher. Kind of at a loss for words at this point. Don't know what else to say. Another gill. 8 1/4, 8.5, somewhere around there.